Welcome to the Fashion Translator. I'm Claire, your host. Together we explore how AI and innovation are reshaping the fashion industry through creativity, technology, and global partnership. For today's episode, I'm excited to talk with Caroline Chamorro, Director of Retail at HANRO. Caroline, welcome to the Fashion Translator. Could you start by introducing yourself and the company?
Okay, well, thank you for having me. My name is Caroline Chamorro, and I've worked for HANRO, the US portion of it, for about 4 years now. I lead the retail team in North America, and we have a lot of amazing things in the works. What I love the most is the quality of the brand that is always timeless and has stayed true since day one.
Could you tell us a bit more about your background and what first got you into HANRO?
Of course. So I've always worked in luxury. I actually started my career at the Woodbury Commons in upstate New York in early 2000s. So as everyone knows, the best mall, I would say, world renowned. The Woodbury Commons has a lot of fashion houses and a lot of traffic. So you get a lot of experience with clienteling, a lot of operational work and things like that. So that's when I first learned to love retail and just the inner workings of the business from start to finish. I've worked every role within the store level, and now I'm in corporate just driving the business. And I love to see the success of both sales, but mostly my team and seeing them organically develop, which is the most exciting part of my job. Yeah, no, what drew me first to HANRO is exceptional fabrics and the trust that they've built with the client. It's about quality, and that really resonates with me. Leading the North American team, what I love the most is the HANRO's DNA is part of the European heritage and how it really applies to our US market, which is me building the bridge alongside the team. So that's been my biggest takeaway so far.
That's very nice. Tell us a bit more about how it looks like on the day to day, or how does it flow when you plan?
So again, planning, especially in retail, things are always changing, right? We may plan months ahead, a year in advance. We have forecasting, but we always have to leave a wiggle room for the unexpected. It could be something as the Wi-Fi being down to something like a package has been delayed with UPS. We work together and make this behind the scenes effortless so the client just receives a product and sees everything go smoothly. And the number one way that we do this is through communication.
And you mentioned that HANRO has a strong global legacy. Tell us a bit more about how you adapt the heritage to today's North American customer while still staying true to the brand DNA. Can you expand a bit more on that?
Sure. So I think what people are looking for now is authenticity. We talk a lot about sustainability, versatility, and top quality products. And I think that that's something that has been true for HANRO since 1884. My job is to really bring, here in the US, we have a little bit more fashion forward people, people that love to be authentically themselves, but also be able to incorporate luxury brands with fast fashion and individuality. And I think that that's something that we're able to deliver to our client here in the US by going to market meetings twice a year, being part of sketch meetings, using our team really, right? Because they're on the front line, they're extracting information, they're working with the client. Especially in intimates, you're really one-on-one with the client and knowing exactly everybody's body shape is different. At the end of the day, we're able to get that feedback and see, for instance, we brought in Europe, right? For sleepwear, we don't really wear black, but in New York, in the US, like we love black. So that's something that color has been exclusive to the US. So there's a lot of constant communication and a lot of support from the team in HQ to really deliver the message, but also stay true to the European heritage.
So it's kind of a circular system where the team on the floor will also participate in the feedback, and then this gets taken into, I can see that's working. If we're thinking about consumer behavior in retail that's constantly evolving, how do you still involve the team and collaborate with them to really take these shifts heads on and keep HANRO ahead of the curve?
So what's most important really is making sure that they have the tools set in place to gather all the data. I think that for us, it's one-to-one, getting the information for the client, but also gathering the data and building on the relationship. So it's more about this relationship building when the birthday is. We have a lot of neighborhood clients. So we get to know spouses, we get to know next of kin. So building that relationship, a lot of even our team lives in the neighborhood. So they attend community. So it's about them being clients themselves, but just having this open communication of how is fit? Is there a fabric we're missing? Is there something that the client, we have this open dialogue. Like I will walk into the store, I work with the clients myself and they will tell me feedback and it's amazing. And they're always open and ready to say what is needed. And it's something that I really do appreciate that when we do deliver the message to Europe, it's heard on a global basis. And, we have clients from around the world, clients that come from Dubai or Italy. So us being a global brand, it's important to really listen to the voice of the US because everyone travels.
Yeah, we can say you're keeping the finger on the pulse.
Exactly. And that's really how you get ahead because they're really our consumer. As everything changes around us, I think it's important to build community. Like I said, a lot of our team members also live in the area. So they're consumers themselves. And that's been something when I recruit, it's about passion. It's about being ready to, evolve and change. And because systems is something that we have to utilize in the future, because that's how we're going to be able to get customer insight aside from the human part of it.
And I think to have like this first connection, things are evolving even faster as they are evolving faster now than they did 5 years ago. And I'm sure in 5 years, it's going to be even a different scene, a different approach. So I think to always be on edge and keeping an eye and also staying open and reactive, like to make sure that we can adjust as these changes come rather than being left behind and to make sure that there's no gap between the consumer and the brand.
Exactly.
If we're thinking about strategies, what strategy have been the most effective to attract new consumer while still maintaining the loyalty of the existing ones?
So we've actually done an initiative where we've narrowed down our basics. So sometimes as the years go by, we have a lot of different options, right? But then do we go back and do we lean out? So what is working for us and what is not? And then how are we going to adapt, right? Because clients want to see new product, but they also, we have clients from that age range from 70 years old to even 15, right? So how are we going to appeal to all those markets by staying true to our DNA? And it's really about, again, just going through data research and seeing, okay, what are we missing? And then what hasn't been working, right? Because fashion is cyclical, but there is moments when things, don't work anymore or is something that we need to update. So are we updating the lace? Are we updating the fit? Is there a size that we're, not including and our client wants a different silhouette? That's also important. And then colors, right? Like what is trending? What is going to be the next forecast? Are we on trend with that? So I think that that's really what keeps us ahead is that we're able to forecast properly, but we still have the timeless silhouettes that have always been super successful for us and that our client loves.
Are you using AI to collect this data and establish patterns, see what tendencies are going?
So in store, we personally don't use AI, but we have a CRM program. So we have Endear that we absolutely love and that we have just launched in all our stores. And what it really does, it has analytics where it takes all the client data and it gives you kind of peak times of when they shop or consistency. And it sets reminders. I think it's great to have for the teams because day to day, when you're in the store, there's shipment coming in, there are, clients coming through the door, there's special orders or appointments. We're asking a lot of them. And it's really important to have one tool. So on an iPad, they're able to kind of pull up all the information in an elevated way versus going and pen and paper, because I love a Post-it. I love to set reminders for myself, but there's nothing like having everything digitally where you can take with you. And right. So if I'm working on a project or I'm, doing shipment, I could also be going through and seeing what my client wants out of the box. So we have new arrivals, they're able to clientele in the moment and book their appointment. So we don't necessarily use AI, but we definitely are in the digital age and we're very excited about it.
Yes, I think that's how these days it's an important part of operating a business. So it's good that you're also staying ahead of this. When you talk about your team, I can really see that it connects to your heart. Like, how do you foster trust, empowerment, and consistency across the multiple locations?
So for me, it's about setting clear expectations, clear communication, always being available for them in terms of questions, making sure that they're being heard as well. In terms of like how we spoke about initiatives like Endear, before we even started Endear, it was very important to me to have a successful launch and have a lot of information for them to have, even more than they needed. So they're able to feel confident in using the tool. I think what's most important when you launch a project or give a tool, we say consistency, right? But it's consistency from the team, but from us as leadership as well. Consistency in hearing, like, does this work for you? Being with them basically every day and seeing what works, what doesn't. We do little mock workstations before they even see the client. So we can pretend to be the client. We send ourselves the email to see what that looks like. And of course, we do have templates because not everybody is confident in writing, right? We are here, some people are better in person. So making sure that every learning style is available to them, because that's what keeps your team, right? It's tailoring your communication to the individual and not necessarily just to the mass audience.
Mm-hmm. There's two things that you mentioned that I think make really a difference, like the support. If you know that your management is behind you and has your back, plus if you have the tools, the knowledge, the education, you feel you know what you're talking about, this really impacts the confidence and how it will present then on the customer.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I have to say, we go into our mono stores and it's a different experience. It's really one-on-one. You're building almost like a friendship because, again, where it's loungewear, it's intimates, it's a different level of sales where you really get to know the client. And it's important because the best thing about it is you build their confidence, just like it is when, we go to a store and have a beautiful dress and we just feel so much better. I feel like the same with intimates, right? And top quality, it's the best to sleep in. So I have to say that it's a really great brand.
Tell us a bit more about some improvement or innovation that are being introduced to enhance the shopping experience.
For us, it's just always learning, utilizing the social platforms. I know that's something that is also super beneficial. So I work very closely with our PR team in headquarters. We are, selecting different collaborations, but we're very specific with who we collaborate with to making sure that they're still part of our DNA and it makes sense for us. And the client gets excited, not confused, right? We love art and all of these things, and that's what we stand for, but also doing it in a smart way. So we've introduced Arthur Abazar, and that's someone we're working with now. And Charlotte, an artist from Germany, is coming up in a few months. So just making those, and then also for our cotton seamless, when we have an anniversary, we'll do like jewels. So we have all these little anecdotal things, but again, still have like our basic and our wonderful fabrics.
You mentioned social media, like the involvement with PR. Tell us a bit more about how you collaborate with PR and how the social media helps with the connection with the customer.
Again, we're looking for collaborations that are authentic. So luckily our brand is world renowned. And so a lot of people love it. We look for collaborations that are organic. So somebody that absolutely loves our brand that has tagged us, we'll definitely look into it. Just recently, we'll do like movies and things like that. So we have a lot of celebrities that are already fans personally. So when they have like a work that they have in mind, they do always call us. So it's a great relationship this way. But in terms of social media, I think that we put a lot of our basics, our cotton essentials. It's about how the product is made and staying true to that, staying true to sustainability and how we adapt to versatility and keeping those products premium.
If we think about your work as a whole, which area would you say has most of your focus right now?
This last couple of years, we've re-platformed our website. So for me, it's about focusing on the Omnichannel integration. It's really how the experience on the web clients is going to be exactly the same as when you come into the store, whether that's a direct chat with a boutique associate or a FaceTime. So building that bridge and connection for people that are shopping at home, they want to have that human contact. So having that line through and then doing it the reverse way, right? So if a client walks through the door and it's an international client and they don't want to walk with their bags, we're able to get that order for them in a seamless way. So Omni does work both ways. It's such a great asset because you're able to keep the boutique feel and the luxury showroom vibe, but then you're also able to then take your iPad out and show all the different products that we're able to also have access to in even 24 hours, which is amazing.
Yeah, it is. What are some of the challenges that came through this that you overcame? Because it's a big system and it's like behind the scene, there's a lot going on. Tell us about something that was challenging and then that you came through it.
Most likely, I would have to say our clients that are a little bit older that aren't tech savvy. So they have been our legacy clients, have been clients, for a very long time. It was also being able to connect with them and walk them through the process and making them comfortable. We even have some clients that don't have emails, believe it or not. but still able to service them, because that's very important to us, because we are digital and we're going into this amazing AI world, but we can't lose sight of everyone. And then there's still our true clients. So that was something that was challenging, but we overcame it. We're able to messenger, we're able to FaceTime and have that human connection, which is what I think ultimately people want.
Yeah, it's important not to lose touch of the human connection. I think this will never go away.
I mean, I love that. I hope it never goes away.
Yeah, I think actually it's just going to increasingly, like the more we'll go into technology, the more we'll feel the need for this to stay with us. If we're looking ahead, what are some maybe new retail channel or some growth area that you're excited for, HANRO?
So for me, it's again, like how we spoke about that human connection. My dream would be to continue to open more stores, being able to expand and consistently have that human connection. I mean, we are in wholesale, but I think me being in retail my entire life, it's nothing better than going to a brand, seeing someone, having them know my name and know exactly what product I want. It makes my day so much better. If I'm having a tough day or something, I can just pop into my favorite brand and know my stylist. So I think that that's for me something I would love to continue to grow and to have consistency across the US and in Europe as well.
Well, Caroline will definitely be keeping an eye both on you and on the brand. For the listener who would like to connect or learn more about Caroline or the brand, there'll be the handle in the description. Caroline, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much. This was a pleasure, and I hope to see you soon.